Hello again from my front porch. As I continue my explorations into new terms, new words, new descriptions for things that I am uncovering and being exposed to, I had one of my Facebook friends, Rita Perea, who shared a meme on Facebook that I thought was so impactful, and I don't do this part very often, but I thought it was so impactful that I thought, okay, I want to share this because it actually kind of, you look back over the last several episodes, the most recent one where I talked about the awareness of aging, of maturing, and the harsh realities of that. But you look back to the episodes before that where I was talking about different concepts, different things. And to some extent, this one sort of, it's not just a separate one, it sort of encompasses a little bit of all of those past episodes. And so it was just I thought it was kind of remarkable, you can say ironic, whatever, that this showed up in my feed today, and I thought, wow, that's like all these other things that kind of pulls them together, bring some sense, if you will, to that, while adding another interesting layer. And what I'm talking about is a concept called lifequake. Lifequake. Not earthquake, but lifequake. And what I don't normally do is I don't normally just put the meme up on the screen here. Usually we talk about stuff, but I'm going to put the meme right up here on the screen so you can see it for yourself. And when you pull that up, or as you're reading that, you'll see that it says, "Today I learned about a term called lifequake," which is ironic because I did learn about it today. "A significant and unexpected shift in the trajectory of your life that initially feels devastating but has the beneficial outcome of catalyzing personal growth, transformation, and rebirth." Now that's really, just ponder that for a minute. What that's talking about is a lifequake is something that happens to you that just impacts you to the core. It completely, I think it said change trajectory, but it completely changes the path that you're on, or makes it difficult, maybe even impossible for you to continue on the path you're on. You have to choose a new direction because of what has happened. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a death, a loss of somebody, either in your family or somebody close to you. It could be you lose your job. It could be those are negative. Maybe you get married. Maybe you have a child born. These are also things that can radically alter your trajectory. Maybe you don't lose a job. Maybe you get a new job, and the new job puts new challenges. I mean, I can testify to this, like the role that I'm in right now. And you embrace these things that they weren't there before, and so now it takes you in a different direction. Maybe you start a new hobby. Maybe you have an accident that causes you physical limitation, or makes it impossible for you to do some things you used to enjoy doing. Maybe you just have a falling out with family members, or with close friends, or business colleagues, even work associates. Sometimes being in a workplace where you all of a sudden don't get along with your coworkers, that can radically change how you approach doing things with your job. It could be any number of things like this. And sadly, for some people, it does seem like these things come in quantities. The old joke is, everything comes in threes. Well, sometimes it's even more than that. But it does seem like sometimes there is that factor. Okay, once something goes wrong, it seems like there are other things that also go wrong. And some would argue, no, things always go wrong. It's just how you respond. Yeah, to some degree, I think there is some merit to that. But when you have multiple things that happen in very close succession that are this type of lifequake, and it's not just one thing, it's a combination of things that pile on top of each other that then cause you to really sit back and go, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to possibly overcome that? It's very easy to just collapse, to just be overwhelmed by that. And I mean, I'm not picking on anybody. I've been there myself, where there are times where something it's too much. It's just too much. I can't anymore. I just can't, and I have to completely step away and just almost shut the whole world out and just decompress. Just try to clear my head, try to realign and get my focus back, because this thing is so overwhelming, and sometimes it's not even my thing. Sometimes it's people close to me and the battle that they're having with something, and it's just like, oh wow, I don't know how to. I want so desperately to help them, and I can't, because I feel helpless. There's nothing I can do, and then that weighs on me, and then that's overwhelming to me. And of course, if I were to tell the person that I'm having that reaction, they would think I'm silly, because, well, it's not your problem. Why are you worried about it? Because this is what I do. But I want you to I'm going to pull that meme. I'm going to put it back up again, because I want to really focus. Okay, so we can I think we can agree on what lifequake means. Well, it can mean a variety of things, but it's those things that you're just do, and all of a sudden, bam, it hits you and completely redirects whatever you're going to do. That's it. And again, that motion implies harshness. As I was saying before, it can be positive things that change your trajectory. But the point is, it's something different that has come in that you weren't expecting, and now you can't avoid. Now you have to reroute, because your path has been altered by whatever is happening. So, but I want to pull that meme back up again, because it's not just telling you, oh, these things happen and it's called lifequake. Consider what the rest of that meme said, because that's the part I find really, really impactful about this. So check out the meme again. Notice that it has all that first part about, it's called lifequake, significant unexpected shift. But notice that the last part that says that initially feels devastating, but has the beneficial outcome of catalyzing personal growth, transformation, and rebirth. That's where the perception comes in. That's where your attitude, your response comes in. Because what that meme is saying, and I think there's tremendous truth to this meme. What I believe that second half of that meme is saying is, the first half is saying, look, this stuff happens. It has happened to you, and it's going to continue to happen to you. It's just part of life. We get these lifequakes that completely change things for us. But you can either look at it as a reason to be deflated and defeated and just give up and surrender, or you can see it as an opportunity. An opportunity that, okay, you're going a new direction you weren't planning to go before, but what can you do with that? What can you make out of this new opportunity? What can you achieve that you would not have otherwise achieved because you were not going this direction? Oh, you may have thought you were on a path to achieve these things over here, and that meant a lot to you, and I'm not putting that down. But now your path has been altered. You're not going to do those things, or at least it's going to be more difficult to do those things. It's not saying you have to give whatever up. Point being that because your route changed, you have to realign your thinking. It is not an indication that you're failing. It's not an indication that the world has come to an end. It's not an indication that you cannot achieve. It just means you're going to do it differently than what you thought originally. And for some people, that in and of itself is terrifying, because they don't like to change. They don't. I understood. I knew where I was going over here, and now I have to go over here. I don't know this route. This is new territory. I'm afraid because I had this all worked out. I knew I was in control over here. I've lost control over it. No. You've not lost control. You just don't have it yet. So you didn't have control over here either when you started. But you thought it through, you examined, you studied, you prepared, and then you felt like you got your arms wrapped around it. Whatever happened, happened, and now those plans, they may be altered, they may be obliterated. I don't know. It depends on what the lifequake was. But the point is, now you've got this trajectory, and you can have the same level of control by doing the same thing you did over here. Consider it. Think it through. Evaluate it. Research it. Study it. Get help from friends. Do whatever you got to do. But the ultimate point of that meme, and I love it, is that when you have a lifequake happen, when you have this thing that shakes you to your core, don't see it as, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why? Instead, and all of us are going to do that initially. I'm not being critical because I would do that too, depending on what the scenario was. But when something happens that falls in this lifequake category, don't dwell on it as this horrible, negative, disabling thing. Think about what new doors of opportunity have just been opened to me. What do I get to try to do now that I didn't get to do before, that I never had an opportunity to do before, I never had a chance to do before? Now I've been given the chance to do these things. See, it's just the realities don't change in that scenario. What changes is how we approach it, how we respond. And I do believe in the cliche that says our attitude can determine our altitude. You know, where you are you up or are you down, rarely is determined by our situation and circumstances. It's generally determined by us, by how we approach things. Even when the lifequakes happen and the lifequakes pile up on us, we can't control those things. They're going to happen. What we can control is how do we respond to that. And so with that, I'll let you all go, and I'll see you next time from my front porch.